Ben Carson's name has become synonymous with perseverance, intellect, and complexity. From the inner-city struggles of Detroit to global recognition as a pioneer in neurosurgery, Carson's journey is an extraordinary reflection of both the American dream and the challenges of maintaining a multifaceted legacy. Over the decades, he evolved from surgeon to author, from speaker to presidential candidate, and ultimately into a national policymaker. But with each chapter came scrutiny on his beliefs, choices, and public statements. This is not just the story of a medical miracle worker or a political personality. This is the layered, controversial, and impactful journey of Benjamin Carson, one of the most unique figures in modern American history. Early life. Benjamin Solomon Carson was born on September 18, 1951, in a rough Detroit neighborhood. His parents divorced when he was only 8 years old. His mother, Sonia Carson, took on the burden of raising Ben and his brother alone, often juggling multiple jobs as a domestic worker. Living in a household with limited financial resources, Carson's early academic record was discouraging. He was frequently ridiculed by peers and dismissed by teachers. However, Sonia Carson insisted her sons read 2 books a week and submit written reports, demanding academic excellence despite her own illiteracy. At age 14, Carson had a violent outburst that he says nearly ended in tragedy. After lunging at a classmate with a knife, which broke on the other boy's belt buckle, Carson locked himself in a bathroom and prayed for a new temperament. Whether literal or metaphorical, that moment marked a turning point in his life. He went from being mocked as dummy to earning a scholarship to Yale, majoring in psychology, and later attending the University of Michigan Medical School. The journey from a failing student to a future brain surgeon was not just improbable, it was nearly unimaginable. Rise to fame. Carson's professional star began its dramatic ascent in the 1980s. After completing his residency at Johns Hopkins, he became, at age 33, the youngest ever director of pediatric neurosurgery at the prestigious hospital. In 1987, Carson led the world's first successful separation of craniopagus twins. 2 baby boys conjoined at the back of the head. The surgery required a meticulously coordinated 22-hour operation with a 70-person team and was broadcast globally. It cemented Carson as one of the world's leading neurosurgeons. He went on to perform over 15,000 surgeries, gaining acclaim for operations once deemed impossible, including hemispherectomies, removing half of a child's brain to stop uncontrollable seizures. Carson received the Presidential Medal of Freedom in 2008 and published several books, including Gifted Hands, Think Big, and The Big Picture. Each work mixed personal anecdotes with spiritual philosophy, casting Carson as both healer and mentor. His fame eventually launched him into politics, a transition that would bring new attention and new questions. Personal life and relationships. Carson met Lucina Candy Rustin while they were both students at Yale University. A classically trained violinist with a master's degree in business, Candy Carson became more than a spouse. She was a co-author, co-leader, and public partner in nearly every phase of Ben's life. The couple married in 1975 and raised 3 sons, Royce, Benjamin Jr., and Murray. The Carsons cultivated a family life centered on Christian values, education, and service. Candy played an instrumental role in the founding of the Carson Scholars Fund in 1994, which has since awarded more than 10,000 scholarships to high-achieving students across the United States. Their marriage has also endured significant challenges, including Ben's 2002 prostate cancer diagnosis and the intense scrutiny of public life. Still, they've presented a united front, sharing the stage at speaking events, navigating media storms together, and continuing to build a shared philanthropic legacy. But the man behind the scalpel carried burdens few ever saw, some that would later reshape how the world viewed him. And while the headlines focused on his brain surgeries, it was his family that anchored him in the storm. Yet even in moments of personal triumph, there were deeper currents shaping his public and private choices. Net worth. As of 2024, Ben Carson's estimated net worth stands at approximately $35 million. His fortune is a combination of medical income, book royalties, public speaking fees, investments, and federal service earnings. During his years at Johns Hopkins, Carson reportedly earned between $500,000 to $1 million per year, depending on surgeries, lectures, and bonuses. His books have sold millions of copies, and each new release often timed with speaking tours, boosted his annual income substantially. Carson's speaking engagements have consistently brought in $25,000 to $50,000 per appearance, especially at religious and conservative political events. Additional revenue flows from his nonprofit, the American Cornerstone Institute, which also connects him to advisory boards and donors. His investments in real estate, farmland, private equity, and retirement portfolios add to a solid foundation of generational wealth. But behind the success lay a financial blueprint that most people never see. His journey from government housing to multi-millionaire was no accident, but the details might surprise you. And while most know the story of the surgeon, few understand the empire he quietly built. Car collection. Ben Carson's car collection mirrors his personal values: tasteful, high-performing, but not flamboyant. BMW 750 Li starts at $90,000. Carson has been associated with a BMW 7 Series, specifically the 750 Li. Known for its executive luxury, the 750 Li features a 4.4-liter V8 engine, 523 horsepower, 0 to 60 miles per hour in just under 4 seconds, and a cabin equipped with massaging seats, ambient lighting, and advanced driver assistance systems. It's the quintessential car for statesmen and CEOs alike: elegant, comfortable, and powerful without being ostentatious. Cadillac Escalade esteems $85,000. For family and travel needs, Carson has favored Cadillac SUVs, particularly the Escalade, a full-size luxury SUV offering spacious interiors, AKG studio-grade sound, and cutting-edge safety tech like night vision and lane assist. The Escalade's blend of prestige and practicality suits both his public stature and private lifestyle. Lincoln Navigator, estimated $82,000. Another vehicle in Carson's known fleet is the Lincoln Navigator, a staple among dignitaries and high-profile public servants. With 450 horsepower, a smooth 10-speed transmission, and handcrafted leather seating, the Navigator is both a workhorse and a symbol of American-made refinement. While not a traditional collector in the automotive sense, Carson's vehicle choices reflect consistent taste. Premium brands with an emphasis on safety, sophistication, and long-haul reliability. But what do his driving choices reveal about the man behind the public image? And though his cars may not scream extravagance, their symbolism is harder to ignore. It's not just what he drives, it's why he chose them that speaks volumes. Real estate portfolio. The Carson family's real estate investments total an estimated $10 to $12 million, diversified across multiple states and purposes. Upperco, Maryland, established, $1.2 million to $1.8 million. In 2001, Ben and Candy purchased a sprawling 48-acre property in rural Maryland, offering both privacy and space for charitable retreats. This estate served as their family home for over 15 years. Palm Beach Gardens, Florida, established $4.4 million. Purchased in 2017, just as Carson was confirmed as Secretary of HUD, this 7,000-plus square foot mansion includes 6 bedrooms, marble flooring, a resort-style pool, and proximity to elite golf communities. It also functions as a venue for Carson Scholars events. Vienna, Virginia, established $3.5 million. Strategically located near Washington, D.C., this residence provided proximity to the capital during Carson's tenure in federal office. The home's elegant layout includes a home office, conference space, and multiple guest suites, accommodating both business and family life. West Palm Beach, Florida, established $1.5 million. This additional Florida property has served as both a vacation home and a base for extended family and organizational use. Carson's real estate strategy is part personal and part professional, designed for stability, visibility, and legacy. But one estate in particular became more than just a home. It became a statement. His real estate moves reveal not just wealth, but strategy. And one purchase, timed with a major political shift, raised more than a few eyebrows: luxury lifestyle. Despite his multi-million-dollar fortune, Carson's lifestyle blends formality with restraint. His homes are furnished with subtle elegance, designed for family hospitality, scholarly events, and faith-centered gatherings. The 2018 HUD office controversy marked a rare departure from his usually careful public image. Reports claimed Carson authorized a $31,000 dining set for his office. He later denied approving the purchase, attributing it to staff decisions, and clarified that the items were replacements for decades-old furniture. The story became symbolic of broader concerns about spending ethics within the Trump administration. Nonetheless, the Carsons are known to live conservatively, favoring Christian music over pop culture, dressing in modest designer attire, and avoiding red carpet appearances. Their philanthropy remains active, with millions donated to scholarship and faith-based initiatives. But beneath the polished surface lay a contradiction he couldn't quite escape. And one design decision inside his HUD office nearly derailed his public credibility. His lifestyle spoke volumes, not in what it flaunted, but in what it quietly protected: controversies. Carson's political career has been mired in controversy, often stemming from his unorthodox views and public remarks. Science and medicine. Despite being a decorated surgeon, Carson publicly denied evolution, questioned the validity of climate change, and supported supplements like Manitech, despite no FDA endorsement. He also claimed to have beaten prostate cancer through diet, though he later had surgery. Autobiographical disputes. In 2015, journalists questioned claims in gifted hands, such as an alleged West Point scholarship offer and his story of nearly stabbing a peer. Investigations found no supporting evidence, leading to accusations of embellishment. Religious and political statements. Carson stated he would not advocate a Muslim president, and controversially likened the Affordable Care Act to slavery. He often used Nazi Germany analogies in gun rights debates, earning praise from the far right and scorn from moderates. Ethics at HUD, watchdog groups, including Crew, filed complaints about potential nepotism, misuse of public funds, and Candy Carson's unofficial involvement in agency matters. These moments cast a long shadow over his public image, blurring the lines between conviction, ideology, and fact. But it wasn't just critics who began to question the facts, it was his own legacy at stake. And what began as isolated incidents grew into a pattern hard to ignore. Yet even amid scandal, Carson refused to retreat. But at what cost? Direct quotes and public persona. Carson's voice, soft, calm, and deliberate, often delivers some of the most explosive commentary. His tone rarely matches his rhetoric, creating a curious contrast. Famous quotes include, "Through hard work, perseverance, and a faith in God, you can live your dreams," a reflection of his life's central thesis. Evolution and Big Bang Theory are fairy tales for grown-ups. A controversial rejection of mainstream science. Obamacare is the worst thing that has happened in this nation since slavery. A hyperbolic critique that drew bipartisan condemnation. "I've operated on fetuses. They are very much alive." A statement echoing his strong pro-life stance. Ben Carson is a paradox, revered for intellect, but criticized for ideological rigidity. His voice remains one of measured provocation, legacy, and conclusion. Ben Carson's legacy defies simple definition. As a surgeon, he redefined what was possible in pediatric medicine. As a philanthropist, he created lasting change through education and scholarships. As a politician, he drew praise for sincerity and criticism for extremism. To supporters, he is a symbol of possibility, a man who transcended his environment, broke color barriers, and lived his faith unapologetically. To critics, he is a cautionary tale, a brilliant mind whose politics sometimes undermined his medical credibility. But whether admired, misunderstood, or debated, Ben Carson remains undeniably influential. His life reminds us that greatness is often complicated and that public figures like the human brain contain multitudes. But the final chapter of his story may not be written by him at all. And as history begins to judge, the question isn't whether he made a mark, but what kind. Because sometimes the greatest battles aren't fought in operating rooms, but in the court of public memory.